talking today about water, all things water. And I think next to air, clean air to breathe, isn't water like one of the next most important things we could be talking about today? So specifically, we'll talk about water storage, filtration, and anyway, so getting right into it though, having an ample supply of water is a top priority in any emergency. Normally, an active person needs to drink at least 2 quarts or a half a gallon. And if it's hot, you have kids, nursing mothers, there's reasons to have more water. In fact, it's been said that we should store at least 1 gallon per person a day, and that has kind of been upped to more like 2 gallons per person per day. And have you ever stopped to think about how much water you actually use in a day? I mean, obviously we're talking about an emergency, but this whole topic has made me more conscious of the water usage in our house. And anyway, if supplies run low, never ration water. Drink the amount you need today and try to find more tomorrow. You can minimize the amount of water your body needs by reducing activity and staying cool. So one of the first easiest things to talk about with water is water bottles, right? Easy storage, easy on the go, immediate. So think about water bottles as part of your storage. Unopened commercial bottled water is the safest, most reliable source of water in an emergency. You have to watch out though in case there are expiration dates, because bottles do deteriorate over time, so that shouldn't be your long-term storage. If you're filling containers with water, to store, the best use is food-grade water storage containers, FDA-approved food-grade storage containers. They don't transfer toxic substances into your water, and you always want to make sure you have clean bottles cleaned with dishwashing soap, water, rinsing completely, sanitizing, and you can use chlorine bleach to rinse and make sure that you have a clean container. If you're not able to use food-grade water storage containers, be sure the containers you choose, you have closed lids, closed tightly, made of durable, unbreakable materials, not glass, and a narrow neck for opening is always easier when you're pouring water out. So don't use containers that were previously used to hold liquid or solid toxic chemicals such as bleaches or pesticides. When we talk about other types of storage, we've got storage containers. I have one page that we'll make sure everybody gets, but storage containers that'll hold up to 6 gallons. And one thing to consider is a gallon of water weighs 8.34 pounds, right? So when you're talking about a 6 gallon, that's a 50-pound container to carry around. But for things for grabbing on the go, throwing in your car if you have to evacuate your home, that may be one of the best types of storage to have. Also on the go, you can consider a brick, and we'll have links to where you can find these. A brick holds 3.5 gallons, so less than 30 pounds. They do have handles, and you can, get one at a time. So over time, increase your storage to the point where you have enough water. And of course, there are also longer term storage like a 55-gallon drum or even a 260-gallon drum. So when you think about 2 gallons per person per day, a family of 6 with a container like this SureWater holds 260 gallons. Think of a family of 6, 2 gallons a day for 3 weeks. So it's a 3-week supply for a family of 6. So the other things to consider though when you're thinking about collection and longer term storage is treatment of water. And for treatment, there are things that you can use. We've got H2O Rescue. So this will treat 250, well, it'll treat up to 330 gallons in a little $25 container. It's, anyway, Biofilm Defender treats 330 gallons for up to 5 years. Okay, so it's not forever. And it's a good idea to mark on your containers when you fill them up, when you treat them, because time flies so fast, right? And you forget, when did I do that? So there are systems as well that will recycle the water throughout your house that are longer term storage containers as well. So of course, household bleach is a great way to treat your water as well. You can treat a gallon of water with 6 to 8 drops of bleach, and that will stay good for about a year. It will smell a little chlorinated, which is good. That means it's right, it's good. There is also powdered bleach you can get, but just make sure your bleach doesn't have cleaning agents or what'd you say? Scented, that's correct. So thanks. Things to also consider, preparation in advance, things to know in your home. Where is the water main shutoff valve? Secure your water heater also with earthquake water heater straps. Learn how to safely turn off the gas or electricity to your water heater. Locate outside sources of usable water in your community, and we'll talk about those. Learn how to treat the water for drinking, which we've talked about a little bit, but we'll talk more about that. And also gathering and storing water treatment supplies in your disaster supply kit and home supplies. So other sources of water collection that you may or may not think of. First of all, water heaters, right? You have a good amount of water in your water heater. You've got water already in your existing pipes. You can consider also filling up tubs, toilet tank, and pools, hot tubs, but those aren't the best sources for, well, it's hard to treat that type of water because of the chemicals that are in there. But a water heater, to use the water heater, shut off the incoming water at the main valve to your home, then following the manufacturer's instructions in your water heater's user manual, shutting off the gas or power supply to the heater. The water will obviously be very hot, so allow it to cool in the tank before dispensing at the bottom water spigot. The water pipes. If an emergency happens that could affect the cleanliness of the water, like a flood or an earthquake, if you suspect the water lines may be contaminated, quickly shut off the incoming water valve that connects to your home. Don't turn it back on until the water supply is deemed safe. To dispense the water in your pipes, shut off the main valve, then open the highest valve or faucet in your house and let the air into the system. Then you can dispense water from the lowest faucet or spigot in your home. The tank behind the toilet, obviously not the bowl. This water tank or bowl is not recommended for drinking water. Tank water is often chemically treated and not safe for consumption. Instead, use this water for sanitation and cleaning purposes. So like I said, pools and hot tubs are not recommended for drinking water, even with high quality treatment systems. But you can use that water to, for example, to flush toilets and other cleaning types of things.
Is there a difference between like a saltwater pool and a chlorine pool?
So great question.
Repeat the question.
Is there a difference between saltwater pool and chlorine water pool? A saltwater pool, actually, the salt water, it chlorinates, so it passes through a filament to chlorinate the water in the pool. So it's chlorinated with salt as opposed to bleach type of a chlorine. So yes, still does have chlorine. So, but obviously you can use that for a lot of other things. What else? Other outside sources. Of course, we're lucky here in this area. We do have some outside sources. We've got Grove Spring and Dry Creek. So within our neighborhood, we have a constant running water source coming out of Grove Spring. Another one from Dry Creek. Dry Creek is obviously diverted in the summer months However, it still flows year-round, and at high elevations during emergency situations, the city has indicated that diversion may be turned off. Don't drink water from Dry Creek without treating it. And if the flow from Grove Spring has been impacted by an earthquake, don't drink it without treating it as well. If there's any question to the safety of any water from inside or outside sources, when in doubt, treat it. Obviously, we can't afford to get sick, especially in emergency situations. So even if it looks clean, treat it. Transporting water, when you're talking about from a creek or a spring, again, it weighs just over 8 pounds. So you'll need a way to transport without relying on powered sources, maybe a sturdy pull wagon like we're just talking about, non-inflatable wheels. But other sources also to consider: melted snow and ice and rain. With that, don't eat the snow and ice. It will quickly lower your body temperature to unsafe levels. So you want to melt it first, then treat it before drinking. Again, always treat it. Rain, same thing. If you catch and store rainwater, be sure to treat it before drinking. Filter primarily. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. Filtering water. Here's an option for filtration. And there are many options, but this I found to be a very good option for treating water. There's a 2-part process: pre-filtration to get rid of the larger debris, but then you've got a gravity-filled filter, this Outback plus 4-stage filter. So it weighs 6 pounds. I didn't have one on the table to show you, but removes virus, bacteria, cysts, organic contaminants, and more. Produces 24 gallons of water per day and 1,800 gallons of water per filter. So for about $300, you can get that with filters included. So, and $129 for replacement filters. Also, it's necessary to have water in your emergency kit. But again, maybe you have a bunch of water bottles in your car. Maybe you have, a 3.5 pound or a 3.5 gallon brick or other container. You can get a 6 gallon container for as little as $15 at Walmart. Anyway, that's still heavy. This you can have in your emergency kit, and it's the Platypus Gravity Works system. It produces 1.75 liters per minute, 1,500 liters per filter, and runs just over $130. So anyway, it's my hope that we all are more ready with water, with storage, with filtration. Moving to this area, I felt the need to be more prepared with water, and not just for our family, but hopefully friends and neighbors and the whole neighborhood becomes more prepared with water. So thanks for that, and over to you.